I think we are back. If we now started doing weird movements, we should be able to mimic that into infinity. I think this is what peak performance looks like. This is why actually Player 101 bought 2 1-month subscriptions. Because of this. Maybe not because of this. I think it's not because of this. But I cannot stop. I literally cannot stop. Do you see this? Because before I will be able to stop, there will have been 80,000 versions of me that are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, copying what I am doing now. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's not get too carried away by the possibility of me existing in multiple different places at once. Let's just let's do the healthy thing. Do you, by the way, see how red my face gets? We will play through this once without any comment, and then we will go over it again, and I will stop at like whatever point I feel is relevant, or whenever I have a comment, right? Either that, or I will just feel the urge to stop it, and like the enormous child that I am, just stop it anyways. But grab your popcorn, grab your favorite drink or refreshment, and lean back, because this is Pokemon Legends Arceus official trailer 2. Okay, I am not able to watch the entire 4 minutes without talking. I just realized I had hoped I would be able to just watch those 4 minutes, let you actually play a 1-on-1, enjoy the trailer, but I just realized that I don't work like that. Okay, so we open up to this beautiful text phrase. This is a tale of a time long ago when the lives of humans and Pokemon were still separate. What's very interesting about this is it kind of mimics the way that we and animals live together right now. Of course, we do have animals that we kind of, that are domestic right now, or like domesticized, which we kind of use and kind of, abuse sometimes, or with which we live together. But the massive, like the mass majority, the bulk, right, of animals are, well, animals that don't really interact with us. They might kind of have to adapt to the environments and situations and scenarios we put them through, like climate change, for an example, but that wouldn't be interaction, in my opinion. It's just us making their lives harder, but they don't interact with us, right? So this kind of goes against this whole symbiosis, this whole symbiotic relationship that animals and like the Pokemon and humans have, and it's very interesting to see this take on that. When I saw this the first time, I was thinking like, okay, this is interesting, because one thing that I want to see here is a thing that always bothered me about Pokemon, right? Why on God's earth? Why on God's earth do you have lizards that are like 1 meter 50 tall? Why do you have those giant fire-breathing dragons, which you give into the very, 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 very tiny hands of some 10-year-old Pokemon trainers, and don't have 52 third-degree burns on your hospital and Pokemon Center every 6 minutes, right? And of course, we laugh, and of course, we can say, haha, that's funny, that's just how the game works, that's very funny, haha. But right now, right this very second, we have a scenario where Pokemon have not yet been kind of conditioned to be nice around humans, right? We still have their feral nature. And that was the first thing that I thought about when I saw this title text. It's like, okay, interesting. Maybe we will now see how a wild, really wild Pokemon is like. Because all the wild Pokemon we see in the Pokemon games, those are animals and Pokemon that live very close to humans, if you think about it. They are somewhat used to having humans around them, even more so because they are like 20 billion 10-year-olds roaming their woods and roaming those grasses and those patches, right? And what's so interesting here is you could actually have an Arbok or a Charmander which has never before seen a human person, and which could lash out aggressively. And that was the first thing what I was really, really interested about, because of course you cannot have a kind of horror game scenario where a Gyarados just completely drowns a human or thrashes an entire village, and I don't want to imply that. But the first thing that I thought here was, okay, nice. We will see how Pokemon are without the influence of being traded, being caught, and even being kind of forced to interact with human beings. Interacting with them for the first time. Okay, sorry. Like I said, I will talk like 10 minutes for every second we go through the video, but I will try to make it short. Here we see 4th generation Pokemon, and I think that's, that's the plateau they want to go. I think it's just Gen 4 and below, with the exceptions of 2 things, which we will come to later on. Wait a second. I want to record this, by the way. I just realized it might be a good record. It might be something that I could actually upload on my YouTube channel. Like, person talking, please listen to opinion. I don't have any friends. And that's us, I think. Okay, next up is... Here's the next stop, right? This is civilization. What we now saw during the last 50 seconds was humans who didn't touch anything, right? This is completely untouched terrain, right? It's the realm of Pokemon. It clearly is. You can see it because every animal and every Pokemon is at the place it wants to be at, right? The Clefairies are completely free to roam wherever they want to be, right? No one is impeding them, and no one is stopping them from going where they want to be, right? Here we see Pokemon in their natural habitat, and actually in their natural habitat, because we see Pokemon a lot, right? We see them in the tall grass, we see them roaming around, even in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but they are always kind of restricted to those areas, right? They are within those tall grass patches, which is very limiting. And even if they are able to kind of roam around freely in Pokemon Sword and Shield, we never really see them outside of those patches of grass. For example, whenever people don't want Pokemon to be at a specific place, there are none. Let's say in the cities of Pokemon, there are no wild Pokemon most of the time. And of course, it has to do with the game's mechanics. They should be a safe haven without you getting attacked by Zubats every 2 seconds, even if you're in a city with dimly lit night lights, right? However, I think what's very interesting here is that no one thing is hindering those Pokemon from going wherever they want to go. It's a perfect ecosystem. It's a perfect ecosystem. Everyone lives the way it wants to live. By the way, this looks very interesting. This seems to be relevant of some sort. It's some sort of temple or relic or whatever. And they are the ones that are kind of saying where they want to live. Now we had the Pokemon side of things. Now we cut back onto the humans, right? How do humans live in this very, very weird, almost parallel dimension? And as you can see, this looks a lot like a Konohagakure out of Naruto. Especially if you look at this. If you look at Token Sensei character, Token Angry Administrative Man character, Token weird but probably very helpful side explain character, and those 3 Pokemon. That's the first thing that's very interesting about me, by the way, is that Oshawott here and that one Pokemon named Bounce in German, whose name I always forget, those are post-Gen 4. And I think, story-wise, it will be because the Pokemon Professor, which I suppose is this dog, which I suppose is this dog, will kind of have brought them from far away. I'm not sure. And now we have this perfect ecosystem that is completely untouched, right? And then we have humans, right? And the way humans live here is very interesting for me, because to me, it's 2 ideas that are clashing, right? On one hand, you have this very traditional Konohagakure, old feudal Japan style. You can see it in the outfits of the villages. You can see it in the way that the houses are built, the structures, right? And at the same time, you have beginning industrialization, which is very interesting because we see the way that feudal Japan kind of build up its civilization, and as well as its architecture, very often to be kind of in line with nature, right? You don't have a lot of like man-made materials. You have wood and clay, things that you can kind of harbor from the earth, right? Natural resources, and you kind of make it, you furnish them into houses, right? And that's very natural, right? it's still an ecosystem in its own right. Like, it's just humans build their habitat just as Pokemon built their own habitats as well, right? It's very natural. And then I saw this here. I saw this and I looked at it and I was instantly very, very intrigued. What we can see here is a Galarian Weezing, right? Galarian Weezings, even though they are fairy types and are actually there to, kind of not even pollute the earth, but actually clean it. If I understood their Pokedex entry correctly, they are actually healthy for the environment because they kind of take all those bad gases and consume them and kind of do the same thing trees do. However, they are and always will be some form of symbol for industrialization, like for human progress. You have those chimneys on tops and you could go into the economic, philosophical direction and say that those top hats kind of represent the onset of capitalism, but let's not go that route. It's very weird anyways. But I would say that here you have this kind of onset of civilization in the form of industrialization, of machines, right? Machines that do stuff that like before couldn't be done. And I think we will come back to this theme, if I understood correctly. We will come back to this theme of technology that kind of invades positively or negatively the whole thing way later on, right? We see that beautiful mountain back there. We see the Gyarados that still has a Magikarp hat. This, of course, is a reference to a legend of a carp that was able to make its way on top of a mountain, and once it was there, it kind of got turned into a dragon. And from this myth, the Pokemon of Magikarp derives. And if you did not know that, now you know that. Okay, perfect. So here we see a lot of very traditional imagery, of course, with the architecture, with that reference to this very old Japanese myth, right? At the same time, we do have this little Weezing here, which is just a little touch of something new, something different, another era of not even living as humans, but maybe living with Pokemon. Okay. Again, completely overanalyzed, but I think it might be nice to give it some thought. What I think this shows right now is we had untouched wilderness, then we had untouched human civilization, if you can call it untouched, but with a hint of development, with a hint of progress. And I think that maybe this might become a theme, right? How do people and Pokemon learn to live together, and what role does technology and like human advancement, human progress, what role does it play in that whole thing? Okay. Of course, what we can never forget is that you need to have a sick barber. I think the people in feudal Japan understood this. Of course they did. And of course, a very, very, very important Easter egg here is a shovel. And this shovel, of course, represents, as you all know, absolutely nothing. Let's go. That's us, of course. Very main character, a lot of main character vibes. The 3 Pokemon. Oh! And look at this. I mean, don't look at the graphics. It's I think the graphic issue is a big issue for many people. They don't like the way the trees are modeled, but they didn't like that in Sword and Shield either. And they think that a lot of stuff isn't really the way that it should be. If you have a game like Zelda, super duper GTA 3,000 acres worth of open playing world game, that's exactly what it's called. If you have Breath of the Wild on your Switch, you kind of expect a Pokemon game that is open world to kind of mimic that same aesthetic, or at least the level of quality, right? But I think, for me personally, that's not that big of an issue. I think it is for some people, and who knows, maybe something will happen with it in the future as well, and maybe this is not the final graphic version we see. Might be the case. Okay. Okay, very interesting. Thank you. That's the perfect frame to kind of illustrate what I thought that I wanted to touch on. Earlier on, we talked about like human civilization, Pokemon and their untouched wilderness habitat, and how the bridge between those two could be technology, right? So what we have here now is very, very traditional means of hunting, right? If you think about how we humans used to hunt, we would sneak up to to people, to Pokemon, or to wild animals, right? Okay, this is really sneaking, but you know what I mean. We would sneak up, we will kind of get near them, try to get near them, and then go for the catch. And what do we need to catch or hunt animals usually? We need to have some tools. And the tools we are presented with is the Pokeball. And the Pokeball is a very, very, very advanced piece of technology. It seems to be the solution that those pre-Pokemon era trainers seem to have to connect with Pokemon. Here, you don't go to them and talk to them. No, what you do is you use technology, you use that Pokeball to capture the Pokemon, right? And I think it's interesting. It kind of means that the way that we kind of learn to live with Pokemon would be to catch them, right? And to use them. It's not this... Of course, later on, you become friends with the Pokemon you've caught, and it's a symbiotic relationship, right? They help you, and in return, you don't put them in the box forever. But what we can see here is that it's kind of nice to see that this distance between you and the Pokemon is kind of bridged by technology, by the onset of new technology. And I think that is something where you can draw the line and kind of connect the wheezing from earlier, like the onset of progress, the onset of industrialization, with this Pokeball. We do not know, I think, what material this Pokeball will be made of. I think it's made of wood. I'm not sure, though. I think it's steam-powered. Maybe I'm wrong. By the way, that is the cutest Growlithe I've ever seen. I will buy this game just to see this animal, because this Pokemon sees absolutely nothing. This guy's blind. This hat is so fluffy, and so he has no clue what's going on. No clue, and I love it. Okay. I love how they kept in the old Pokemon attacking style. I like that. And this looks very wooden to me, right? This looks very wooden. And it looks steam-powered. It looks like a very ancient, maybe by fireworks, because that is, as we all know, a very, very old Japanese form of progress, of technology. And I think I love how it's enmeshed with Japanese culture and stuff. Same, but being it so hard, gonna destroy it. Buying it so, yes. Oh, it's so great. Okay. Oh, perfect. Well, I hope you're not gonna destroy the Growlithe, because then we would have a problem on our hands. Doesn't matter. What does matter, however, is what we now saw during the last few moments, which is of course the Pokeball bridging that rift between humans and Pokemon, and that's the one thing. And the second thing is still we still have that old kind of battling system, which is nice. But what we now know, I think it feels a little more natural. It's not you running into the grass and then a Pokemon approaching you. It's how Pokemon would kind of behave if they were to encounter a weird species and form of life that they haven't really interacted with before, right? For an example, the Chimchar earlier, it ran away from you, right? It ran away. And I think, or here, this guy has to sneak up on those little critters. So does she. So does he. Well, I think he's got to sneak up in order not to get completely bulldozed, but you know what I mean. And this feels a lot more natural to some degree. Of course, some Pokemon will try to fight you, but they won't do it. Or not all of them will do it. Of course, in the natural zone, in the nature zone, I think, in the nature zone of Pokemon Sword and Shield, you do have some Pokemon that kind of try to escape from you, and you see those like sneaking up mechanics in early games as well. But I think here it's done very, very well. At the same time, it's not too much of a digression from the usual Pokemon games. In terms of combat, because as we've seen, we still have this, what move do you want to use? You have 4 moves to your disposal. There's still typing. There's still a level attached. I think a lot of stuff, there's still HP. I think an HP bar. A lot of stuff will be same. And like I said, it's this prototype, right? And this is what bridges humans and Pokemon. And I think that that's a nice little touch on it, I think. Realizations. And she's dead. Trailer over. She's just dead. Okay. Okay. We all knew that this was going to happen. We all knew that this would be a still frame to click on and, oh my god, new Pokemon game. Here, we do see, two new forms of travel. It's not new forms of travel, but it's certainly carried out by two new forms of Pokemon. It's a Braviary, and it's a Basculin. I really hope. The weird thing about both those Pokemon is that those are not from Generation 4. Like I had said, some Pokemon, like everything here that we've seen so far, is from Gen 4. There are a few exceptions. The first exception is, of course, the picture of Galarian Weezing. Where is it? Is it something like... Is it... Here. Galarian Weezing. Like Progress, right? Then we have Oshawott, and whatever its name is, it's Bouts in German. So we have Oshawott and Bouts, which are brought by the Professor. Again, another form of progress, another form of development. And now, the third time where we see Pokemon that are not from Gen 4 or prior is in the form of transportation, which again is some form of progress. So it seems like the Sinnoh region, where this plays in, everything that like was in the Pokédex in the Sinnoh region and before the Sinnoh region is kind of there and in the natural world. And every Pokemon that we've seen that comes afterwards, or every image of a Pokemon that we've seen, or every form of a Pokemon that we've seen afterwards, is something revolutionary and is something that is new and that hasn't been in the Pokédex. There is one single exception, and that exception is... Where is it? Oh my god, that is amazing. That looked amazing. Here's the exception, right? We have this guy that we know since Generation 2, I believe. And this is where my theory is kind of shaky. That newer Pokemon that weren't in Sinnoh before kind of mean progress, and that kind of mean like the bridging between Pokemon and person through different means of technology. Here, we see that this is a Pokemon that we've known from early on. But I think other than that, I think it's nice. But like I said, here is the very big deer-shaped hole in my theory. I really like, by the way, I really like the way that you're able to, get transported through the game. Of course, in early installments of the game, we did have, like, different ways of being transported. My favorite, of course, always being carried around like a baby in the Machamp's arms in Sun and Moon. Of course, will always be the favorite of mine. But but I really like how organic this feels. Like, just look at how the different walking animations depending on like your speed, and I think it's those little things, or the way that you move through the water. I think it's great. Which, look at this. Like, if this trailer makes me want to hop onto this thing, this is arguably the most ugly, hideous torpedo I've ever seen, and I want to hop onto this so bad. This is how good this trailer is. Okay, dramatic. And I think this is like evil stuff. Okay, very interesting. This is what got me excited, because this frame is what got me excited. Pokemon are terrifying creatures. Like I said earlier on, I predicted that this might become the Pokemon professor or someone who is very associated with it. Usually, you have people that are saying, wow, this is the Pokemon, and then they show you the Pokemon, and Pokemon are great and powerful creatures that are magical and that you can use to train and battle and do all those great things with. And here, the Pokemon are terrifying creatures. I don't think that a single adult in a Pokemon game has ever really said that. Of course, you know that, oh my god, this legendary Pokemon is dangerous, but it's always the people that are bad by abusing the legendary Pokemon's power to get over the world. It's not Dialga and Parcc that are evil and terrifying. It's Team Plasma that tries to, or Team Galactic, sorry. It's Team Galactic that tries to kind of use their power to create a new world order. Like, it's Cyrus who's the bad guy. But here, Pokemon are terrifying creatures. And this goes way back to what I said there. This is a tale of a time long ago when the lives of humans and Pokemon were still separate. This isn't a tale of evil organizations abusing Pokemon. This is a tale of humanity coming to terms with the fact that Pokemon isn't just this world of richness with with a lot of super cute, little, nice Pokemon. No, it can be brutal. You can have bears and giant sea monsters and dragons. right? And Luxrays and a Gyarados and an Ursaring and a Luxray and an Ursaring. And this Ursaring just really fucked up that girl. Like, nearly, like it was like this. Of course, you have to say that probably it's this thunder, electro, evil rift into another portal dimension, whatever, that makes them evil because they have red eyes. Because you can't sell a Pokemon game to a child and say that there's a Pokemon that is evil. Because if Gyarados was an evil Pokemon, my favorite Pokemon could be evil, and that's bad. And no Pokemon is evil from the get-go, but they are wild and enraged, and so you gotta calm them. And while they are enraged, they are aggressive. But what we see here, and that is another very important frame in my opinion. Where is it? Here. We see that this Ursaring is attacking you. It's not attacking you and giving you enough time to kind of send out your Pokemon, and then it's your Pokemon against this Ursaring, and they battle, and they, kind of fight and duke it out. No, it's you that has to dodge. Because if you don't dodge, this Ursaring will do terrible, terrible things to you. And that's great, because this Ursaring is not one of those game Ursarings where it just stands there waiting for you to kind of use your Pokemon and then you fight with it. No, of course, I think you will have to fight it, and you can fight it later on, I guess. Yeah, see, you can fight it later on. See, cool analysis of patterns. Thank you. I think it's overanalysis, but I know what I'm doing. I don't, but it doesn't matter. Okay, what's very interesting here is, of course, you will fight the Pokemon itself. Of course you will, right? But at the same time, what's very interesting about it is you do have that option of kind of interacting with the Pokemon itself. And the Pokemon interacting with you the way it would interact with any other intruder, right? Because this is a tale before humans and Pokemon lived together in this symbiotic relationship. And that's what's so fascinating to me. That is what's so fascinating about this game. And this is the deadest Crobat I have seen in my life. This Crobat is so dead. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how dead this Crobat is. You will have like 4 wings that you can fry or like hang up on a shelf or something. But this is a very, very dead Crobat. Okay, yeah. Oh. Okay. Oh, very anime. Very cool way, by the way, to kind of incorporate those old Japanese music instruments into the fight scenes without having it come off as too much of an anime. You know what I mean? This is classic Japanese, of course. But what I like about it is I think they will have this new gimmick. There's always been a gimmick: Mega Evolution, Z moves, Giga Dino, Ultra Giga Supermax Prison. And now you have this kind of ninjutsu style, and I think it's very nice because it kind of blends in with the history and the setting very nicely. I like it. And you can catch those Pokemon, apparently. That is something that surprises me. Usually, you have to kind of calm down the Pokemon, and once it's calmed down, you can try to catch it, or maybe you cannot catch it at all because it's still not calmed down. But the fact that it's actually catchable here is nice to me. I think it's cool. I like it. He even has this German little spike helmet. It's like a Bismarck, right? Because it bites. It's a Bismarck. Like, oh, I will have a Bismarck on my team. For sure. Look at it. It's so cute. Okay. Oh my god. Oh! Would you look at the cuts, by the way? Would you look at that? Oh! you don't get hyped by this. Look at this. Oh my god. Ah, that's the stuff. Not actual gameplay footage. I haven't seen this. Oh my god. Oh.
Do you really believe your own hype that much?
Oh, that was cool. Oh, that was a coolest transition. Look at this. Damn. Damn, son. Okay. So, okay, here's what I think. I completely overanalyzed a huge portion of this game. I really did. And I'm aware. But at the same time, I think it's very nice that you can just read so much into this game and kind of look back in like 6 months when the game has come out and will be a massive failure and everyone will be completely sad because the game wasn't really living up to this hype, and you will look at this game and at this trailer and at this video of me kind of trying to justify what just happened and think to yourself, oh my god, what an idiot. But what I think is very important and is very nice is you can see here there's so much potential there. You have of course the anime aesthetic and the open world and everything that's nice, but you can go so deep into just this trailer, just the way it's crafted, right? Like, you have this section about animals and Pokemon, how they live. You have civilization itself, then how you interact with with Pokemon on a day-to-day basis by kind of using technology. Then you have means of travel, which is also a form of technology. Like, you can either like have a symbiotic or like at least semi-symbiotic relationship with Pokemon by catching them or by using them as mounts, right? Whatever. And then you have like all those things come after each other, and we have so much information without them telling us a word, just by sequencing the events, right? Then you have, of course, like evil stuff, hype, fighting, battle, and even here you see so much stuff. You see that the main antagonists of this game at the moment don't seem to be persons, don't seem to be people. They seem to be Pokemon, and that's very interesting because usually it's just the bad guys that kind of use Pokemon in order to further their means or whatever they want to do, right? Further their goals, right? And here's Pokemon, right? Of course, it could be a secret organization that uses this yellow-red glare to kind of make them evil, but we will see, right? Just the sequencing alone is so cute. It's so good. And this thing is so cute. Look at it. Oh, it's perfect. Semi-symbiotic. Do you mean parasitic? No, of course not. We are not the parasite that slowly feeds off the wildlife while slowly but surely enslaving them and making them do our bidding, even though we are usually inferior, but with the one strength we have, which is analysis, thinking, and the ability to reason with ourselves and form very coherent but socially not really that tightly knit groups, which enables us to kind of take world dominance anyways, no matter whether it's animals or Pokemon that are fighting us, and in the end it's just us who are the bad guys, and we will most likely perish, and as soon as we touch untouched wildlife, it just becomes rotten because we fight them and catch them and make them fight for us. Anyways, no, it's not parasitic. I think it's semi-symbiotic. I loved it. Great job on the analysis. Thank you so much. Final words. Very cool trailer. Very promising. Of course, we don't want to keep our expectations like astronomically high because that's never a good thing, right? But at the same time, I think that's a lot of stuff that can and will go very, very well, I think, because what the trailer shows us is that there was a lot of care put into the way the story is told, the way of sequencing, and even though I might be completely overanalyzing, I think that there's something there, deep down there, and I think that that's a good thing to start. Okay. What did you think, by the way? What did you guys think of this trailer? Of course, you have like one chat box and not 40 minutes of you being able to ramble on about a children's video game. But anyways, what did you think? What did you think of this trailer?